All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at what is pretty much universally known as the heist of the century. We're talking about the most audacious bank robbery in French history. But, more than just a story of stolen millions, this is a masterclass in psychological exploitation. It's this fascinating case study that proves a truly terrifying point. The greatest vulnerability in literally any system is almost always the very thing you assume is perfectly secure. So, let's unpack exactly how pure engineering hubris created the perfect crime.
So, picture this. It's spring, 1976, in Nice, France. An ordinary-looking guy, a portrait photographer actually, walks into the Société Générale on the Rue de l'Hôtel des Postes. Now, at the time, this was widely considered the single most secure bank vault in the entire country. He rents out a safety deposit box, but he doesn't put jewels or stock certificates in there. No, he takes a simple mechanical alarm clock, sets it for midnight, locks it inside, walks out, goes home, and waits.
Midnight hits. Deep inside that impenetrable vault, that little alarm clock just starts screaming in the dark. And what happens? Absolutely nothing. No call is made, no siren wails, no police show up. This incredibly simple, brilliant test revealed the bank's fatal, arrogant blind spot. Because the engineers were so entirely confident in their defenses, we're talking about a vault buried under a meter of solid steel and concrete on all 6 sides, they made one crucial, money-saving decision. They never even bothered to install a sound alarm.
Part 1. The target and the mastermind.
You basically had these two completely different worlds stacked right on top of each other. Up above, in these pristine marble lobbies, the elite wealth of the Côte d'Azur kept their deepest secrets hidden away in 4,000 thick steel boxes. We're talking undeclared gold, diamonds, and mistresses' love letters that could instantly ruin careers. But down below, Albert Spaggieri, a decorated paratrooper from the First Indochina War who was just masquerading as a mild-mannered photographer, was spending his nights in a very different reality. Armed with 19th century municipal maps and a flashlight, he was crawling through the grimy, rusted storm drains of Nice in total darkness.
And through all that midnight mapping, Spaggieri made a staggering discovery. The floor of that unrobbable vault and the roof of the city's storm drain, they were separated by a mere 8 meters of dirt and concrete. Just 8 meters. But, as you can imagine, digging straight up through that in total secrecy was going to require a highly specialized team.
Which brings us to Part 2, the underworld.
Spaggieri travels to Marseille and basically pays out of his own pocket to assemble what the press would later call the Sewer Gang. It was a 20-man crew of welders, locksmiths, and ex-soldiers, and the physical endurance this took is just wild. They strung up hundreds of meters of electrical cable for light and used rubber rafts to float heavy tools in. For 60 agonizing nights, they worked these drooling 6-hour shifts, standing waist-deep in human waste, battling thin air. And to make sure city sanitation workers didn't get suspicious, they literally carried the excavated dirt out in their pockets, just a few handfuls at a time.
Part 3. The 96-hour window. Once Bastille Day weekend hit, they had a ticking 96-hour clock to execute the actual heist. Friday night, they pushed through those final 8 meters with 30 tanks of compressed gas and hydraulic jacks. And keep in mind, every single time they heard a car brake on the boulevard right above their heads, they had to freeze in dead silence. But by early Saturday morning, that last layer of reinforced concrete gave way and Spaggieri was finally standing inside the vault.
Now, this is probably my favorite part of the whole operation, because it's just a brilliantly twisted piece of logic. The bank's engineers designed this massive steel vault door to be completely unopenable from the outside, so Spaggieri uses that exactly against them. He has his welders seal the door shut from the inside. Now nobody can get in to stop them. With the room perfectly secured, they literally unpack a folding picnic table, lay out baguettes, foie gras, and bottles of red wine, and set up air mattresses. Then, they just go to work cracking safes around the clock. They had these custom-built hydraulic presses specifically designed for the job. Each lock took exactly 6 minutes. Over the course of the weekend, they systematically emptied 371 individual safety deposit boxes, pulling out stacks of francs, Deutschemarks, gold ingots, and uncut diamonds. All in all, they hauled away an estimated 46 million francs. If you adjust that for today, you're looking at roughly $30 million in totally untraceable liquid wealth.
And the craziest part? Because so many of those boxes held black money that officially didn't even exist, they just left all the paper trails, the bonds, the wills, the scandalous letters, scattered all over the floor right next to their empty wine bottles.
Part 4. The Escape and Legacy. Now, they did have to cut this perfect getaway a little short, because a sudden summer storm rolling over the Côte d'Azur threatened to flood the sewers and wipe out their only exit route on Sunday afternoon.
But before vanishing back into the dark, they left a little calling card. They painted this exact sentence onto the pristine vault wall. Without hatred, without violence, without weapons. And in just a stroke of forensic genius, each letter was drawn by a different team member using different colored markers. That ensured that police handwriting analysis would be utterly, completely useless.
Fast forward to Tuesday morning. The bank manager shows up and the door won't open. It actually took heavily equipped police teams a full 6 hours just to cut through that welded door from the outside. When they finally got in, they walked into one of the most photographed crime scenes in modern French history. The scattered wealth, the picnic table, the painted quote, and tucked away in the corner, a small, dark hole leading straight down into the earth.
So how did it all fall apart? Well, for months, the cops had absolutely nothing. Then in October, an ex-girlfriend of one of the diggers went to the authorities with a name. The dominoes fell, and by November, Spaggiari was arrested at the Nice airport. But, true to his nature, he outsmarted them again. He admitted to organizing the whole thing, for sure, but he flat out refused to give up a single name of his crew.
This leads us to March 10th, 1977, the legendary jump. During a questioning session in the judge's office, Spaggiari executes his grand finale. He leans over the desk, handing the judge a completely fake, hand-drawn diagram of the tunnel just to distract him. He calmly walks over to the open window, says he needs some air, drops 2 stories right onto the roof of a parked Peugeot, rolls off, and hops onto the back of a waiting motorcycle. By the time anyone even looked out the window, he was long gone. He spent the rest of his life living under false names in South America and Europe. Get this, he actually mailed an anonymous 5,000 franc check to the owner of that Peugeot to pay for the dented roof. He published a best-selling memoir from hiding while the bank quietly settled what claims they could. 12 years later, Spaggiari died of lung cancer at 56. He passed away a free man, never spent another day in a French prison, and never once betrayed his crew.
Ultimately, the heist of the century wasn't just a crime executed with dirt and acetylene torches. It was a complete triumph over institutional arrogance. The bank was so blinded by the thickness of their walls that they completely forgot to listen to the silence inside them. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. What is the missing sound alarm in the impenetrable systems you trust today? When we believe we are absolutely invincible, what are we failing to see?